All right, I think we are live. Good evening, Nidhi. Good evening, Kaushik. How are you all doing? Nice of you to join. I think today it will be me alone. Shabbir is going to take a break today because he had continuous engagements. So I'm going to sing Dost Dost Na Raha, Pyar Pyar Na Raha and continue alone. Okay, hopefully you guys won't miss him too much. Hello Kiran, good evening. Ram, good evening. Mahek, Avnish, good evening. Very good evening. Very good evening. Very nice. So I think give me a shout out if you are one of our December batch students. So in fact, today is two things we'll do. We'll welcome our December batch students, and like always, we'll take one essay paper for evaluation. I selected one from what you had shared with me on Telegram. So one of them will be evaluated today. We'll all evaluate it together. We'll see how it goes. But before that, I just wanted to spend some time welcoming the December students. Okay, Musa Viramin, good evening. Absolutely nice of you to join. All right. I think we can get started. So, for those of you, can you give me a thumbs up or yes if you are in our December batch? Anybody from December batch yet joined yet? Just say December batch on YouTube or Zoom, and then I can know whether you guys are on, or we can do it towards the end. Good evening, Aditya. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I must say that your participation in the Telegram channel keeps getting better and better. And this time we had a little bit of a tough one, right? With the Zen koan. What did you guys think? Aditya, Kaushik, some of you responded. Kaushik, I haven't corrected your paper yet, but I'll get there. I corrected a little bit. Prince, I saw yours. Good evening. Very nice. I was actually very impressed with what your writing, Prince, this time, and I really liked it the way you have worded each of the arguments, and that's exactly the way we should do it. Your argument should be full sentences. Your argument should convey what you are trying to say. So it is not just one word or a subheading. Your heading is actually a rationale, right? A reason. So very well done. I think, you may have not detailed out a couple of things in some specific arguments, but I think this is the way it really opens up, right? Your essay really becomes something that is reading worthy, and you've captured the attention of the evaluator knows that this person has actually gone deeper and is presenting his or her arguments, and that's just the first thing you need to crack, right? The evaluator knows you've done a good job, interested to read, and then from then on, the good work starts. Pushparaj, very good evening. Nidhi says, sir, this is second time I am attending session today. Can you please tell that discussion today is a topper copy or it's from a Telegram channel on which we submit our templates? Nidhi, this is today we will have something from the Telegram channel. But I think a couple of sessions back, we also did a toppers copy. So we'll do both. We'll keep doing a little bit of both so you get a taste of what um, there is both varieties, right? So you'll get the sense of the toppers as well as common mistakes that you guys make. And I personally think that you actually gain a lot more when you see mistakes being committed, because it is a reflection of somebody who is somewhat at your skill level. When you see somebody really really good, it gives you dopamine, right? It gives you a very nice feeling. Oh, I saw something beautiful. But it's not something where learning comes from. So that is the reason why Shabbir and I always try to pick something that you can all learn from. All right, Piyush, Shubhadra, good evening. Very nice. Thank you for joining. All right, let's get started. So, for the benefit of our December batch students, let me just spend like 2 minutes and then we'll go from there. I will just share the desktop and I will show you guys a little bit of how the course is organized. So let me know when you can see my screen. This course, first of all, welcome those of you who have taken in the past. If you have access, you continue to have access. I think you should have, but if in case you need, you let us know. The thing is, you can re-watch these videos for your learning, right? So it's a 4-week based course and the 4 weeks are packed. Sometimes we take 4 to 6. Musaviram, you have not joined any essay till date. Should I join this batch? No, absolutely you can join. Absolutely you can join. Those of you who haven't joined, there is no good or bad time to join an essay program. Absolutely join it, and then you can continue the practice with these Thursday sessions or Telegram. That's the way it works. So 4-week session, and first week we actually talk about what is the demand of UPSC essay writing. What is it that UPSC wants you to cover? We go through foundations, which provides you details of purpose of essays, types of essays. You'll notice that we commonly talk about these 3 types of argumentative, descriptive, persuasive essays. So we talk a little bit about what that is. Okay, and then what makes a good UPSC essays? What is good paraphrasing, essay structure, language articulation? There are activities for each of these as you go and do it. So the first week, I think, to me, the biggest one is this topic analysis and treatment. I think this is where a lot of students actually falter. As some of you noticed in the latest essay topic that I had in Telegram, if you see the Buddha on the road, kill him. That was your essay topic. But in spite of taking the course, some of you could not actually get the true meaning. So you didn't sit down with the topic for a sufficient amount of time to get that. So I think topic analysis and treatment is a key thing. Then we go to week 2. Week 2 is when we get into the details, right? So the nuts and bolts, the screws, the parts, individual parts. So we actually get into the intro, the arguments, how to enrich the essay, as the conclusions, and we do something called a directed brainstorming. And directed brainstorming is essentially every single part of this essay writing activity, starting from identifying nature of the topic to keyword and paraphrasing. We actually demonstrate how this is done. Identifying the examples. बहुत बार आप लोग पूछते हो कि सर examples कहाँ से लेके आएंगे, right? Identifying the core values. हर एक ऐसे का एक core value होता है. So how do you get that? Cricket shots. Very good evening. देर आए दुरुस्त आए. Thank you for joining. So that was a week 2. Week 2 we get into the brass tacks, right? The key ingredients. And week 3 is when we bring it all together. So I tell so many of you to storyboard your essays, and this is the reason I ask you in the Telegram channel to write the core arguments, 4 or 5, and put them in order. That's the storyboard, right? So essay writing canvas, we explain how the storyboarding works, right? So gathering all your ideas, putting them together in a nice well-strung sort of necklace, right? A bead or a train or however you call it. But the director has to put the storyboard, then the story will become interesting. Otherwise, the story is disjointed. And a lot of institutes I have seen, they say, oh, do storytelling, and they say that, oh, you didn't do storytelling in the introduction. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंट्रोडक्शन में ही स्टोरी लिख दिया तो स्टोरी टेलिंग है. स्टोरी टेलिंग एक्चुअली कम्स टू लाइफ थ्रू दिस storyboarding. So the essay writing canvas is the story. Your entire essay is a story, right? So that's how you do storytelling. Then in week 3, we also do a lot of thematic discussions. We get into, individual values, right? Stoicism, existentialism, Vedantic philosophy, a lot of this actual content for essay writing, and moral philosophical essays that UPSC does a lot. So we do that in week 3, and week 4 is tests. So usually students take 4 to 6 weeks to complete it, it's fine. But no time is a bad time to start essays, and I absolutely think you should do this. This will really help you set your essay preparation up. And now after finishing the course, you join the Telegram channel, or you start responding on the Telegram channel. See, I always say that there is a gym, and when you go to the gym, you work with the gym trainer. The gym trainer gives you a recipe. It works with you, shows you the exercise, shows you how it's done. But then the gym trainer goes away, and then you have to come to the gym every day, and you have to repeat what the gym trainer says. This 4 to 6 weeks is going to be the gym training, and then beyond the 6 weeks is going to be the continued practice. All right, so I will go to this essay. I think today I have chosen for evaluation, this is the essay that we'll talk about today. All right, what do you feel about it? I shared this topic a little while earlier on Telegram channel. I don't know if you had some chance to see it. If you haven't, well, here's your opportunity. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the essay topic first. As usual, before we start evaluating, let's talk 5 to 10 minutes about what this essay really stands for. Okay, so my friends on YouTube, my friends on Zoom, I think if you could start telling me, what does this actually mean to you? The heart has its reasons, which reason knows nothing of. Okay, the heart has its reasons, which reasons knows nothing of. What emotion does it evoke in you? Even before we get to paraphrasing, topic treatment, sir ye persuasive hai, descriptive hai, all of that, set that aside, right? We are here writing an essay, and the first thing I always say is take the topic, sit down with the topic. You don't have to worry about anything else. No process, no technique, no examples, nothing. What does these words tell you? Come on, cricket shots, Musaviram, Shubhadra, Piyush, Nidhi, Pushparaj, Prince. We have a good audience today. What do you feel? Prince official YouTube. Okay, great. I think you have official name now. It's debate between emotions and logic. Okay, great. Kaushik is saying conflict between emotional and rational traits of human being. Okay, emotions and logic, conflict between emotional and rational traits. Nidhi is saying, sir, here heart means emotion and reason is logic, context on which we act. Prince, okay, we have got two princes. And compassion, love, ethics goes beyond rationality, law, rule. Okay. So I think you all identified the dichotomy, right? That is always something very nice to do earlier on, because remember, if you guys were with me in one of the earlier sessions, I was saying that every essay is like a battlefield. There is something going on. There are two forces fighting, right? That fighting is giving rise to some conditions, some it is changing the environment, and how and why, that's the story you need to write. You need to write the story of the struggle going on in that battlefield. And in this particular essay, the battle is between the head and the heart, or the reason and emotion, right? That's very clear. Now, second question. Now, is the topic saying something very directly about this fight? Is it saying something, leaving it open ended, or is it saying something, very, very clearly? See, it says the heart has its reasons, right? Which reason knows nothing of. So it is actually saying something very, very assertively. He's saying heart has its reasons. The reasons of the heart are something very different from reason. It is saying something. What do you feel? Is it, let's talk about the classification a little bit. A persuasive, argumentative, descriptive. What do you think? What I hope you know about these three classifications. If not, definitely join our course, or join our Telegram channel, and you'll get to know what it is. Okay, now give me some answers. What is this? Is this describing something? Is it arguing both sides of something? Is it trying to persuade you of something? Prince and Aditya, both of you think it's argumentative. Can you write why? Why did you feel it is argumentative? Okay, so I think, I would love some other responses too. Emotion versus logic. Yes, that is right. Absolutely right, cricket shots. But my question is, what about emotions versus logic? We can say, for example, that in the battle between emotion and logic should win, right? That's one way to frame it, that we should take decisions based on rationality. That's one way of saying it. But that's not what the essay topic is saying, right? The essay topic is saying that heart will always have its own reasons, which rationality has no clue about, right? So I think it is okay. I love the argument. So Prince is saying argumentative, assertive, heart over hand, Persuasive to help. Okay, everything together. Okay, very nice. Prince official saying not a universal truth. Need to argue both aspects and find to what extent it's true. Okay, all right. I like it. I like it. Aditya saying more focus towards emotions, some scope for logical thinking. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So let us start reading this essay and see what this person has actually done, and then we'll go from there. So I'll start reading, and stay with me. India has survived many cultural and social revolutions, and with each passing revolution, it undergoes a change in its reasoning and thinking. Okay, this person has started in a national context. Okay, all right, that's something to think about. Imagine an Indian woman during the 19th century. She not only not has the right to education, but also faces plethora of prejudices. Okay, she cannot make a choice on her marriage, let alone reproductive autonomy. Okay, so she is going through plethora of prejudices. She doesn't have these rights. Fast forward, let us look at how modern India woman fares. She is allowed the right for her education and is enfranchised. She has the legal right to marry and propagate her emotions. Okay, a lot still needs to be done, but it is surely better than how women's ordeal was in the 19th century. What had caused this change? Was it a miracle? This is how reasoning changes the lens through which we see the world. With the passage of time, the raison d'etre of human existence has, one second, um, let me, okay, has, okay, let us see, I'm struggling to read it. And the evolutionary change has been pertinent part of our lives which has caused such changes. So, okay, let us go back to the first page, and relook at what this person tried to say. Um, so the person is trying to argue that, okay, women, India first of all, has survived many cultural and social revolutions, undergoes a change in reasoning. So with time, and we change our reasoning and our thinking. Okay, so Indian women in 19th century had all these problems, and now look at modern India, she is much better off. And this change is because of reason. See, so what do you all think? What do you all think about this? Let me pause it. See, I don't have my friend today. Otherwise, I would have paused here and said, Shabir, what do you feel? And but I have lots of friends today. So many of you have logged on. Um, so I'm not alone. So tell me, what do you feel about this opening? The topic is that the heart has its reasons, and which reasons knows nothing of. It is clearly establishing that head and heart, logic and emotions. We have to talk about that, and we have to talk about how one side does not know the other side, but we are here talking about the the student is talking about India as a nation going through some changes, and that is happening because of reason. Indian woman, social transformation, she's talking about. She's talking about women empowerment. She's talking about how reasoning helps this kind of transformation in society. So, reason and rationality is the reason why social transformations occur. That is what I am able to understand out of this. Right? The student is saying that if we are rational, we stick to rational thought process and not have emotional superstitions, all that stuff, then we can effect a positive change in society. Okay, Aditya is saying miss the emotions, focused on rationality and reasons only. Okay, Piyush, you're saying, sir, can you clarify what topics mean, which can drive us through to judge the essay beyond? Okay, that's what we're trying to do. We are we'll do it one by one, right? That's how you peel the layers. We are peeling the first layer now. Kaushik says, it says assertively that emotional aspects are not always contemplated by the human reason. Absolutely. So I think the topic is that our reason or rationality cannot contemplate emotions, and that is a dichotomy of the left brain versus the right brain. The left brain hardly ever knows how the right brain can or functions. So to me, this intro did not make the mark. It completely confused the topic. I don't disagree with what the person is saying. The person is also used good English. The person is coherent. He or she is also written clearly. But the argument she's making is rationality should be the way, and I believe that something like that could become the conclusion of the essay. But first you must describe what the essay is all about, right? So to me, that had an issue. So now let's go. Okay, I'll keep reading. Through this essay, let us explore how reasoning plays an important part in our life, not only in the societal level, but also in our personal lives, moving on to how it can be built, how reasoning can be built, and what are some repercussions if reasoning ability is altered. Okay. Now, what he's saying is that what I'm going to talk about from here onwards is that this essay will explore what is the role of reasoning. Tell me, Nidhi, Piyush, Aditya, Kaushik, all of you, tell me, is this how you would have written that reasoning, the role of reasoning? Is the essay about the role of reasoning? Or is it that reason doesn't know emotion, emotion doesn't know reason? Nidhi, argument she tried to build was how rationality helped to overcome the emotional thinking. Yes, absolutely. I think that's what she's trying to do, or he. I don't know. I actually did not look at the who submitted this, but that is right. I think what he or she is trying to do is establishing that reason and rationality should play a bigger role in our lives. But is that what the essay topic is demanding? Miss the topic demands. Yeah, Piyush, so that's what it looks like. Let's read on. Let's see. So then you're saying cycle of life, reasoning. I like the fact that she's done these boxes. Okay. And I always tell all of you to do the boxes. Write your reason, write your argument, do the box. It is a very, very good practice, and that is what's going to pop out the core arguments, and the evaluator will sit up and take notice. So, cycle of life. Hermann Hesse, through his novel Siddhartha, had explored the idea of transitionary phases of human life. Through the character Siddhartha, who leaves his normal life to explore the world outside, Herman has not only emphasized on looking inwards, but also importance of reasoning that drives the very existence of humans. We need to learn to embrace ourselves in order to understand the world outside. So okay, I'm trying to understand what the student is saying. We need to learn to embrace ourselves in order to understand the world outside. I've experienced on my body and on my soul that I needed sin very much. I needed lust, the desire for possessions, vanity, and needed the most shameful despair in order to learn how to give up all resistance, said Siddhartha to his friend Govinda after having understood how his worldly understanding changed to looking inwards. What do you all feel after this Hermann Hesse example? We are into the third page. So we're talking about Buddhism and looking inward, desires, the typical folly of human character. I think it's well. Let me see what you guys all feel. Right. I will save my comment till the end. Cycle of life, reasoning. So the argument header sort of tells me somehow it will come to reason, that reason is somehow linked to the cycle of life, but then we are talking about looking inward, importance of reasoning that drives the very existence of humans. I am completely confused. I think as an evaluator, I don't know at this point that what to make of this. Seriously, मुझे लग रहा है कि ये खिचड़ी है, right? And that's very dangerous, because I don't I feel like if I read more, I'll come out in a very disoriented state. Okay, so I think it's a little, see, first we started with oppression and women's rights and how rationality should be the core of social transformation. Then we went inside and at an individual level, and we are saying that Something about self-reflection, linking that with resistance and reasoning. Um, okay, I'll read on. I'll read it 2 or 3 more pages. I think this person has missed it, but let's see. Yoga and meditation are boons to our modern world. During this perilous time of information boom, practicing yoga really helps to declutter and find inner solace. अभी योगा में चले गए. Okay, Trinity of Mana, Thana and Atma has been emphasized in yogic scriptures and practiced through meditation. Their unity helps to find inner peace and reasoning for existence of life. Historically, reasoning has been foundational thought for constitutional framers. Okay, from yoga to constitution. Okay, constitution and constitution morality. Okay, at the stroke of midnight hour when the world sleeps. Okay, Nehru aa gaye. All right, I'm going to take a pause. I think we have read how much? We have read, actually, we have read, not read a lot. We have read only 3 pages. I'm not getting a good feeling at this point. What do you think? Cricket shot, sir. I think writer has missed the first half part of topic's demand. Focus more on later part. That is rationality. Okay, rationality is fine. But what was all this about, Herman Hesse, Siddhartha, inner reflection, yoga? ये तो पूरा वेस्ट हो गया, right? The topic is not covered. I mean, I just felt like they're not even related to the topic. Okay, all right. So let us go a little bit further and read on. On the red letter day of Indian independence, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister, all right, okay, totally unnecessary bracket, was addressing to the public with his eloquent speech, he realized India as a forward-looking nation, not only him but rest of the constitutional framers too. The very inclusion of preamble was the testimony to this fact. Constitutional framers had foreseen the problems India would face in future. Hence, they made the constitution to be a living document which is entirely based on the reasoning of its subjects. The very spirit and notion of our constitution encompasses led to constitutional morality. Okay, one such fact was the introduction of public interest litigation. Justice Bhagwati, upholding his moral reasoning, concluded that it was necessary for such instruments in order to provide complete justice to general public. Okay, how reasoning can be built. Okay, let us come there. Rajamouli's famous film Bahubali had two central characters. One is Bahubali himself, other being Bhala Deva. Both had the same upbringing, but towards the end, their moral reasoning was different. One wanted to do good for the people, the other wanted money and power. This provides a good example of how moral reasoning is important. Importance for the welfare of society. I think is being emotional bad? Can you good or bad value to these two things, rationality and emotionality? Let's pause and see what you all feel about it. See, we say good and bad are values we assign things. Now, talking about a dichotomy of emotion and logic. So, can um, em- um, um, okay, I think I lost the share. Let me redo the share. Okay. Can you all see my screen again? Give me a thumbs up on YouTube and Zoom. We had a little bit of a disconnection for a second. Give me a okay if you can see it. Okay. All right. So, okay, so where we were is assigning a value to, emotional rationality. Let's learn a little bit. Thus, it became important to inculcate habits to form good moral values earlier on. Schools, college, and so moral values. Where does moral values stand? Now, this is a good point. I mean, just to learn more about this essay topic, where does moral value stand? Is it only rationality that brings morality, or morality has some amount of emotions in it? I think that is something that, uh, if you can explore, where does moral reasoning come from? That will be a phenomenal part of this essay. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. Okay. I think this essay has a lot of good material, but it's not speaking to the core of the essay demand. Right? Critical thinking needed to be trained from childhood. Child's reasoning capabilities would help him think and distinguish between the right and wrong. So, at this point, I've read 5 pages, and I actually do not feel I should read more. Okay, who among you feel that we should read a little more? Maybe 2 more pages. Who feels, as an evaluator? If you were the evaluator of this essay, what would you do? Would you read more or stop here? Tell me. Would you read more? We have read 5 pages. Let's review what those 5 pages were. So, first page started with women's empowerment through the social transformation, and reason and logic is the core of social transformation. Okay. Then the next page was about Siddhartha, Hermann Hesse, and self reflection. Then talked about yoga and meditation. Talked about constitutional morality. Talked about India independence, um, and public interest litigation. I think the overall approach of this student is, let me try and make a case for rationality, and I will somehow get closer to that point. Right. So I think we what you all are saying, Prince, yeah, no, don't read further. Pushpraj says stop here. Anshu says digression is more. Yeah, I do agree. Nidhi question is, sir, we can argue that John F. Kennedy once stopped from launching nuclear weapons. He didn't just act pure rationally. Absolutely. So Nidhi, one thing is, the best decisions are taken, and this is something that you can, it is universally true, right? That the best decisions are taken when the left brain and the right brain are both consulted, right? There is element of compassion, there is an element of empathy, there is some emotion, there is some rationality. We are not getting swayed completely in one direction or the other. When you sway completely towards rationality, then what happens is you are completely cold, right? You do not believe in humanity. You don't believe in anything that pulsates, has life. Those things go out the door, right? It's complete rational. So you are looking at numbers and you are taking a decision. So Prince saying would have stopped earlier and started correcting other copy. Exactly. That is the feeling I am also getting, that I should stop here and better pay attention to somebody else. Now, let's get to the evaluation of this essay. I think, there are few more pages, but that's fine. I think we'll stop here. So, if I had 125 marks, okay, this is my final, right? This is my marks of for one essay in a paper. What do you think this essay is? Where is this essay? You have seen, Shabbir being the hard grader, me being the soft grader, but I think you've got a sense of what how we assign marks, and it's essentially giving you that perspective that an extremely good essay will get you 140, 135, 140 in the paper out of entire. So that's like roughly 70 marks. That's like a very, very nice essay on one side. And a poorly written essay, I think, is in the 30. That's the spectrum, right? So what's your thought process? Where should this essay fall? Definitely in the lower side. Let us not. Let us see if you have any differing views. I don't think there will be many differences in the way we think today. Aditya is saying core argument should include human actions driven by emotions, society progresses with emotional intelligence, limitations of only rational behavior, way forward blend of emotional rationality, capitalism, logical and rationality are pure profit, but when government acts, they also consider people welfare, which indulges emotion. Yeah, because of ethics. Yeah, so a complete miss, Piyush. I agree. A very low marks for this. Now, I think more importantly, as Aditya is doing here, let us understand what the core of this essay should be. And I think, Aditya, you already pointed out so many things. I would say, like, the core here is, first, look at the topic. The topic is saying that emotions, the heart has its reasons, which reason knows nothing of. If you see this topic is a very poetic topic, isn't it? Is it very rational? Like, the topic itself is written in a poetic way, right? The topic itself is written in an emotional way. Therefore, what should your approach be? Let me pause here and see what you all think. The topic is not dry, right? It doesn't say, oh yeah, you breathe through your nose and you digest food in your stomach, or not something dry. It says the heart has its reasons. Who knows what those are, right? It's mystique. The first line here is completely mystical. Heart has its reasons. Someone like a Sufi saint might have said something like this, right? Which reasons knows nothing of. This reminds me of poetry. This is emotion, clear poetry. So, given that there is so much emotion in the topic itself, what would you write as the thesis, as the intro, as the core of your essay? Before we get to arguments, right? So we have 5 or 6 arguments, but what is the core thesis that you would like to write here? Sir, can we say this topic has some romantic element? Absolutely, Nidhi. See the essay topic, the heart has its reasons. It is talking about being romantic. It is talking about being emotional. It is talking about how your heart wins every time. So, and we all know about impulsive decision making, right? People take most of their, this is what advertisements or ad agencies will tell you, that people almost always take decisions based on their emotions. We know this. This is scientifically a fact, right? This is a proven fact. And you can find many analogies, many examples of this, that the decision making process in the brain is largely emotional. Why we like things, we might find a way to explain it, but we don't do that. But just because human beings are wired in a certain way, that is not the best way to take decisions. We are not saying that those decisions are the best decisions, which is where rationality comes in. That, okay, I know I'm an emotional animal, but how can I make sure that I don't take an impulsive decision that when it rains, I will, grow my crops and I'll save it for winter time when I cannot do my agriculture, right? So that is pure logic. Sir, reason absolute, because reason itself evolves. Is it reliable 100%? Sticking to UPSC even after failures is an emotion. Reason may not suggest it. Kaushik, absolutely right. So that's a great example that sometimes our ambitions are extremely emotional. And look at how big driver ambitions are. Almost everything in the world, if you stop and look at it, everything that happens in the world is happening because of ambitions. It's happening because people have ambitions. People want to get to some place. And so what does that mean? That means that emotion has such a strong play in the world that reasons cannot. But reasons is the thing that we must do so we don't get in and fall over. So, Piyush, some truths are felt, not calculated. Yeah, so I think that's a different one. The nature of truth is a different conversation. Now, whether that is true, that is right, those are all even next level, right? But they may be wrong. My emotion may lead me to a wrong place, right? But that's not what we're saying. We're not saying emotion is always right. We're just saying that we are emotional animals. So Aditya is saying this topic is exactly opposite to PYQ history, the series of victories of scientific man over romantic man. Yeah, well, yes. But why did the scientific man win? Because the scientific man was rational. How to win in a battle? An emotional man can never win in a battle, right? So those are your counterpoints. That is why we must have reason. And to this student's point, you can also say that real social transformation has to have rationality, has to have reason, and that we should question our belief systems, we should question our emotions. Is this the right thing to do? So there is plenty of things to write. What I will do is we are on assignment 71, I think, right now on Telegram, and I'm still correcting the papers, but I will put this as assignment 72, our next assignment. Okay, let us write it. We had a good discussion, and I sometimes give you a small little clues, but we know so much about this topic. Now that should give you a good sense of what to write. Emotional topic, almost poetic, talking about emotions, talking about reasons, knowing nothing about emotions. But you can't be all emotional and poetic in your writing. Your thesis, your arguments should stand the test of rationality, right? So we'll do all that in assignment 72. So Nidhi's question, sir, did Buddha also act rationally when he left his palace, or he acted emotionally as well? Nidhi, it's a fantastic question. See, when Buddha left his palace, it is because he was deep into self reflection or inquiry. His inquiry had reached a point where he said, I cannot rest until I find these answers. So he was rationally thinking about his questions, and emotionally, of course, he felt the pains of separation from his wife and his son. We all know about those stories, but look at the difficulty that he had put himself in, that when you go in the path of inquiry, you have a terrible time that you face, right? What does this tell you about being emotional? Is like it is easy to be emotional, right? Buddha's story teaches us that it's easy to be emotional, it is difficult to be rational. So we tend to become emotional because emotions don't need any reasons, right? It is very easy to convince somebody if it's emotional. Oh, I like it because it's yellow. why do you like something yellow? I don't care. I just like yellow. That's it, right? But in rationality, you have to explain. Okay, why do you like yellow? So I think you go to a very different place when you do that. Kaushik says Peggy Whitson's dream to become an astronaut after failing for 10 years was just driven by emotion. Absolutely. So you are now pulling out stories of how emotion also drives you to do amazing things. And you know, Buddha's story is you know, we cannot just put it in one dichotomy like was it emotion versus rationality. And I think if you look at it, there is self-inquiry, and from that self-inquiry came a deep compassion, right? When he achieved enlightenment, when he you know, awakened, when his soul awakened, that resulted in such a deep compassion, a feeling of compassion for everybody around, that we cannot say that it is completely rational thought process, right? But yes, somebody like Socrates, you can absolutely say is a rational thinker, and how he taught a Socratic inquiry. There is so many things you can borrow and pull into this essay. So hopefully that was a good you know, good essay discussion today. I think we're just above time, but hopefully it was helpful, right? I think once in a while, you know, we see some good examples, some bad examples, everything, we learn from everything. I personally feel good examples do not teach you a lot. They'll just show you what good looks like, but you cannot learn you know, too much from it, because watching perfection is like dopamine, right? I always give you the examples of you cannot learn batting by watching Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli, because what you don't see is the hours of practice, ugly practice that they go through for that match performance. You're only seeing the virtuoso performance, and you know, a violinist on stage providing, or Lata Mangeshkar singing on stage, you never went through the 10,000 hours of how did they do riyaz, and therein lies the true learning. So Aditya, your question is, sir, can we add elements of our optional quantitative revolution behavior? Absolutely. See, you can add a lot of different things here, right? So you not just your ethics, you can add social transformation, you can add innovation, you know, if you want to speak for rationality. There is so many things you can write in essays. You know, essays is just wide open. But one thing, remember, always bring it closer to the topic of the essay. If you don't do that, no amount of storytelling, no amount of poetic writing will help you, right? Always bring it to the story, bring it to the core of the essay. Okay? So, what questions you have from today's session? This is your time. I'll take a few questions. And like I told you, this will become our next assignment. I think you got all have, you know, enough you know, raw ingredients to cook up this aloo tikki, right? So it'll be good. Any other questions? All right, Kaushik, Nidhi, Prince, Aditya, Piyush, Anshu, Pushparaj, Prince. I hope I captured all cricket shots. Ayush. Ayush, I missed your question. You said I'm new here. Can you tell me how many hours are to be given daily for this course? Well, for this course, you don't need more than an hour, hour and a half a day for 4 to 6 weeks time frame. And going forward, I do usually say that you do 2 essays a week. That should be enough. But it should not take you more than 1.5 to 2 hours. I think others who have already taken this course can help you. You can ask these questions in the Telegram channel. But yeah, 1.5 to 2 hours. Good. All right. Nidhi, you had one more question, sir. In today's world, rationality overpowers emotions and wins. Can we say it? Yeah. Well, you can, as long as you have something to back it up, right? So that backing up is done through examples, and it's like how you frame the sentence. You can say that, okay, these let's say geopolitically, right? Geopolitically, a lot of countries are just closing down, and they're focusing on ultra nationalism, protectionism. These are can be considered extremely rational points of views, because they're protection. But don't, if you make a sweeping generalization, it's very difficult to follow that up with facts, because nothing is like that is universally true, right? So you can say that, or one can argue, protectionism, nationalism is also fueled by deep emotions, right? So make sure that you have the right explanations for those kinds of things. Kaushik, thank you so much. Prince, thank you so much. Guys, I loved the interaction today. I hope we didn't miss Shabbir too much. I will definitely let him know that we did not. But it'll be good to have him back next week. And till then, make sure you write your essays, and keep focusing on your preparation. And join me on the Telegram channel. The link is in the description. And if you are new, you can find the link and click and log in there. And make sure you follow along. There are 2 exercises generally I do per week, and the exercises are very simple, right? Here's the essay topic. Write your 4 or 5 arguments, right? And then we focus on the core of the essay. What are the 5 arguments that will fill up my body? And we move on to the next one. So that's our very, very simple format. I loved the interaction today. We'll catch up again next week. Okay? Thank you all. Bye.